Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and another self-driving car has crashed. Another one. And guess where it crashed? It crashed in Arizona. Chandler, it seems like this time. And just to give you a heads up, obviously this wasn't Uber. Uber has grounded their self-driving technology. This is Waymo. And that actually might make the story even better or worse, depending on what side of the camp you fall into. But let's look at the article real quick. Let's see here. A self-driving vehicle operated by Waymo was involved in a crash in Chandler on Friday afternoon. Air 15 video showed significant damage to the self-driving van as well as a passenger vehicle after the collision near Chandler Village Drive and Chandler Boulevard. Chandler police said the Waymo van was in autonomous mode with an occupant behind the wheel at the time of the crash, but was not the violator vehicle. I don't know what violator vehicle. Oh, wait, violator vehicle. That means it wasn't the car that instigated the crash. That's their way of saying, oh, the car got into a crash, but it wasn't the car's fault. It was the other person's driving fault. Yeah, let's get back on this again. I'm gonna restate this until I'm blue in the face. The point of the self-driving car: no accidents. They can read human behavior. So this is not supposed to be an issue. And yet it seems to continuously be an issue. The self-driving cars cannot predict what humans are going to do. If they cannot predict what humans are going to do, because even if these things start getting on the road, you're not going to get people to replace their cars like on a massive scale within the next couple of years. Heck, it might even take 15 years before that happens. Well, guess what? The cars are damn near useless to us then, because if they can't predict human behavior and they crash because of other people, whatever. Also, another thing that seems to be happening quite a lot, there's a driver behind the vehicle. What's the point of even having the drivers behind the vehicles if they can't take over when these situations occur? And Arizona wants to, head towards a driverless future without someone behind the wheel. Okay, I guess they might as well not be behind the wheel now because they're not doing anything clearly. But, yeah, sorry, when people don't take over the wheel in these self-driving cars in unsafe situations, they crash. This is what Arizona's going to look like: a bunch of crashes. The whole point of autonomous vehicles is to reduce the number of crashes, not increase them, and that's where we're headed. Let's continue. This is the second known self-driving car crash in the Phoenix area in the past 2 months. An Uber self-driving vehicle hit and killed a pedestrian in Tempe on March 19th. After the March crash, and this is where it gets interesting, and I predicted this would be a mistake, Waymo CEO John Krafkick, I think that's how it's pronounced, said he was confident in the company's technology. Oh yes, let's go back to that for a second. I've got the video, and I will link to it at the end of this one. But he went on a convention showroom floor of some kind and said, you know what? Our cars would have seen that woman. Our cars don't crash. They are much safer. This would not have been an issue with us. And yet, here we are, a few months later, Waymo car crashes. Doesn't kill anyone, but it does crash, and it could easily have killed someone. And if you look at the accident, yeah, that's not a minor accident. That is a major accident. That is the kind of accident that gets people killed. The entire thing Waymo wanted to avoid, and this is why I told them, hey, you don't want to be making these claims until you're absolutely sure about that, because, these cars aren't on the road very often. They're not in real-world situations. You don't know what they would do in a similar situation, and it looks like, yeah, Waymo cars, they crash too. Big shock. Let's continue. Let's see here. In November 2017, Waymo announced that self-driving cars would be tested in Chandler without someone in the driver's seat. Haha, but there was someone in the driver's seat, and they might as well not have been there, clearly. Chandler police told ABC 15 someone was behind the wheel at the time of Friday's collision. ABC 15 has reached out to Waymo for a comment on the crash. Obviously, we haven't gotten one yet. I'm sure they'll say something at some point. This is just how early the story is. And, yep, there you go. Just look at that. Yep, that's your safe future right there, folks. Because here's the thing. I know people say they will continue to develop the cars, and they will develop the cars. They will continue to develop them. They will keep working on them. But Here's the thing. I have a list of the common sense questions. That's what I call them. Here are my common sense questions. If you can't answer this common sense question, then we have a problem. And one of my common sense questions, and I keep stressing this is a common sense question. This isn't some abstract scientific thought. It's, can these cars coexist with drivers who are driving their own cars? And if they can't, how do you expect them to work? Clearly, we see that they don't work very well as drivers. Now, can this improve at some point? Absolutely, it can. When will it happen? I don't know. Because here's the thing. The autonomous vehicles cannot predict human behavior. And for that matter, they have to have access to each other's servers if they're going to talk to each other, which another common sense question I have. Do we have one server for all the cars, or does everyone have their own proprietary software like Windows and that's my dad right there, like Windows and iOS and the Android? These are the questions no one's been able to answer for me yet. No one has convincingly been able to answer common sense questions, and I have a few more too. Maybe I'll make a video. That would be a good video topic. The common sense questions I have about self-driving cars. In the meantime, one of them is clearly not being answered, which is, can these self-driving cars properly coexist with people who drive their own vehicles? And it seems pretty clear the answer is no. Now, maybe that will change at some point, but for the time being, this is what happens. But what about you guys? Do you see this crash as a big deal? Is this going to cause the stir that the Uber crash did? Or is this one going to be a little bit low-key? Sorry, guys, again. Or I got to get a work phone. Or do you feel that this one's going to be swept under the rug, and do you think maybe the CEO of Waymo should have maybe not been so confident about his car's abilities to not crash? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a patron for $1 a month. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.